Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. You all, I know that we haven't had an episode of F Your Feelings Friday in a while. Okay, heute ist Sonntag. You all, so anyway, excuse the hair. This is how it's been looking all week. I took some advice, okay, from one of my colleagues, and she told me, you know, it's no reason for you to keep blow drying and flat ironing your hair in this heat, in this July heat, this July weather. Because, stop, Prancer. Oh gosh, I knew this was gonna happen. Anyway, because, no, Prancer. No. Gosh, cats will tear up everything. They ate through a pair of my wire headsets. He did. But anyway, like I was saying, back to what I was saying, you all. Please forgive me. I gotta hold this wire because, as you all know, I adopted 2 kitty cats. And he likes to mess with wire, and he will eat and chew through the wire, unfortunately. I don't know if they're still teething or not, but maybe this is just a habit that he has. He acts almost like a dog. But anyway, so getting back to what I was saying, I know we haven't been having our episodes of F Your Feelings Friday, but that is coming back around. Stay tuned for that. Be good, Prancer. All right. So what I want to talk about is the fact that I took a notary class, you all, and I would like to address some things that I saw in this book. I thought it was very prevalent, and I took offense to it. Oh, Tinkerbell, no. I'm about to go get the water bottle for them. All right, let's get into what I wanted to talk about, y'all. So to show you how the melanated people are under attack by the Secretary of State. This is what we had to read in class yesterday, right? For me to pass the class, we had to read this. So, let's get into what they say about the Moorish people, okay? And you all know that we're Moors, right? In case you didn't know, go check that out. But this is what they have to say about Moorish people, and I find it very offensive. And you all, if I had this in a Kindle or electronic format, I would put this on the screen and we'd do a live stream or pre-record it so you could see it. And I actually might take pictures of it and translate it that way. So I think this is in, if you purchase the Notary book, it's in like chapter 8 or 9, I believe. Okay, let's see. And I should have had this already. Okay, here we go. This is exactly what I wanted to talk about. This is in chapter 8. They talk about what you can and cannot do as a notary. They give you basically what your powers are. If you become a licensed notary, basically you become a public official. This means that you can actually swear in officers through oaths and affirmations. You can help people with absentee voting. You can actually help them fill out the ballot, okay? You can actually charge for your notary services as well. And I keep looking down because she's playing with one of her cat toys, but the wire is right there as well. And I'm trying to make sure she doesn't start chewing on the wire instead of her cat toy, because she's got it intertwined with both of them. And I know how they are. They always want to get involved with something that they shouldn't be. And they follow me around the house. It's 2 of them. I got them so they can entertain one another, but they still follow me. All right, Tinkerbell. Let's see. Hold on, her little cat toy has gotten. Wait a minute. Here you go. Goodness, I'm gonna have to just hold the wires, so yeah, please be patient with me. My apologies. I'm about to get wireless headphones, y'all, because this is not gonna work. Not with them, unless I lock them in the room. Then you're gonna hear ew, ew, ew. That's what you're gonna hear. All right, so let's get into what they say about sovereign citizens, and they put this in parentheses, you all. So I'm gonna hold this up. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I don't even know if the camera will focus on it. Okay, but it talks about illegal actions involving quote unquote sovereign citizens. Now listen to this. Bogus Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, filings have become more common in recent years due to the increasing numbers of people who identify with an anti-government belief system called the Sovereign Citizen Movement, a loose network of individuals living across the United States who believe that the government is illegitimate. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, has designated sovereign citizens a domestic terrorist movement and a growing threat to law enforcement. Many of these individuals use paper-based tactics to strike back at government interference in their lives. Now, I would say that the government really should not be interfering in anyone's life, because when we were born into this world, we didn't need a government to be born. So because your parents signed a birth certificate and a social security card, this is how they're able to interject themselves into your lives. Now listen to this. Numerous websites sell how-to kits to offer to train subscribers on how to perpetrate filing schemes in exchange for large fees. Most of these filings utilize telltale buzzwords and share common indicators, including the following: references to the Bible, the Constitution, the U.S. Supreme Court decisions, or foreign treaties. All right, now I want to stop right there, because references to the Bible, first of all, who introduced us to the Bible? Let's question that. Secondly, the Constitution. Who was left off of the Constitution, and who was the Constitution founded and started by? Okay, in someone else's territory and country. Let's go there. U.S. Supreme Court decisions. Who makes up most of the U.S. Supreme Court? Let's look at that. And then foreign treaties. First of all, we're not foreigners. We know who they are referencing, okay? We're not foreigners in our own country. If anybody are the foreigners, it would be the U.S. Supreme. It would be the people that wrote the Constitution. It would be the people that came over here, okay, and quote unquote colonized this land. So this is why they are striking heavy and hard against the Moorish people, you all. Let's go along and see what they have to say. Name written in all capital letters or interspersed with colons. So basically, when we write our name in all capitalized letters, that is really not referencing us, but for legal jargon purposes, this is how the state and how the government references us. Really, they are not referring to us, because when you capitalize all letters of your name, that is really not your name. Signatures followed by the words "under duress," "sovereign living soul," or a copyright symbol. Personal seals, stamps, or thumbprints in red ink, the words "accepted for value," copies of personal documents such as birth certificates or social security cards, okay? So what they're saying is that these are legal actions involving quote unquote sovereign citizens. So they're trying to say that all these things they don't want you to really recognize as a notary, because they are taking issue with the fact of the issues that the sovereign citizens are bringing up. So they're trying to actually counteract all of that in this notary book, you all. And this is actually written by attorneys and Secretary of State. So I just want y'all to be very mindful of who they're addressing in this book. Sometimes called freemen and straw men, okay? Now, if you're familiar with your straw men, basically that is the signature that I was telling you about, where it references your name in all capitalized letters. Okay, we are not privy to it. When we sign our names to contracts, certain verbal agreements, you all, they have knocked down my freaking thing. Oh my God. Y'all are a mess. So the Straw Man Act, please basically look that up, examine it, watch some videos on it if you're not familiarized with it. And it says these so-called sovereign citizens, and notice how they said so-called sovereign citizens, sometimes use fake quitclaim deeds. For those of you who are not aware of what a quitclaim deed is, a quitclaim deed is when someone acquires a mortgage and say they are married, wife and husband. Well, say that they want to sell their home. There are certain statutes that regulate certain states. So in this particular state, it takes 1 to buy, 2 to sell. That means if you have a property and you get into a marriage while you have that property, then you still basically have a spouse that has to sign their name for you to sell that property. And then what you can do, if you want to get their name off of the deed with you, you can file something called a quitclaim deed, especially if you acquired the property together in a marriage. I counseled one of my clients about this a few months ago because she is now separated from her husband. She wants to sell and buy another home, and she did not understand the logistics of what she had to do. It is quote unquote a QUIT, quitclaim deed. If you want to take someone's name off of that deed and basically you hold that deed instead of them holding any claims to the deed for the home. Okay, so they're talking about that. So they're saying sometimes they use fake quitclaim deeds. How are they fake if they exist? I would question that. A March 10, 2011 CNN article, and we already know how shady CNN is because they're owned by the CIA, entitled Sovereign Citizens Fraudulently Taking Over Foreclosed Homes. So I'm really surprised that they would include a CNN article in the Notary public book, but this is what they've done. Reported that the FBI said sovereign citizens are responsible for many crimes. Listen to this now, including impersonating police officers, threatening judges, and using fake currency and documents. Well, what do you think it is fraudulent when they came over here and gave us fake money, fake paper money that has and holds no value? It's not backed by anything. Are y'all fighting? Oh my God, y'all. And I'm back. My apologies for that. They had gotten to a very bad scuffle, and I've never heard her scream like that before. She sounded like somebody was attacking her. And like I said, she's a female cat. She's younger than him. She's smaller than him. And I don't know why he manhandles her like that. He got sprayed, so we got the water bottle. Okay. Back to what I was saying, you all. Okay. We're talking about sovereign citizens. So basically, it says that the sovereign citizens said the FBI are responsible for many crimes. No, the FBI said sovereign citizens are responsible for many crimes, including impersonating police officers, threatening judges, and using fake currency and documents. All right. Now, we want to say, what are fake documents? Documents can be falsified by anybody. Who is to say that our social security cards and birth certificates are official documents? But because the government said that they are certified documents, then that is acceptable. But they came into someone else's territory and land and basically took over. So you tell me what's really real and what's really fake here. See, these are the mental gymnastics and mind games they want to play on people. The trickery of it all. I don't even know why y'all both came in here. All right. In many cases, notaries do not have the authority to perform the acts that are often required with sovereign citizen documents, resulting in notaries being sanctioned for exceeding their powers and limitations. Some of the more common documents that are presented by sovereign citizens are, and now they have a whole list: Act of State, presentation under notary seal, presentment under notary seal, notary's certificate of service, verification of mailings, public notice, declarations, and lawful protest, conveyance bond, affidavit of notary presentment, certificate of mailing, affidavit of political status, power of attorney, hold harmless and indemnity agreement, private registered bond for set-off, verified affidavit of facts, an affidavit of individual surety. Okay, so these are all the things that they say some of the common documents that are presented by sovereign citizens are, and saying that a lot of notaries do not have power. They are very limited in offering services for any of those documents offered by the quote-unquote sovereign citizens, as they put it in this book. In addition to the types of documents sovereign citizens are likely to present, the language used in the documents can also be an indicator that a notary is dealing with a sovereign citizen. Some of the common phrases that appear in their documents in this state are, "I am the divine spirit having a human experience." Now, do I not say that in my videos? Have we not heard this on YouTube? What are we if we're not divine spirits having a human experience? A natural born divine creation and a private sentient certify the sentient signature in the archetype document enclosed to be true. The undersigned, a Wazi, a notary public for the Moorish National Republic federal government. All Moorish American nationals, Aboriginal, Indigenous, divine beings manifested in human flesh. So they're blatantly talking about me. And as me, basically applying to be a public official and a notary, I take offense to this because I consider myself an indigenous being. I consider myself to be some of these things that they're speaking of. We, the divine spirit, expressed in trust in living flesh, having returned from being lost in the sea of illusion. What is all of this that we're living in if it's not an illusion? I would pose that question. I am one with the light, one with the creator, the alpha and the omega, without beginning nor end, without time. So what is this if this is not the case? We know there is no such thing as time. We know that the creator, the alpha, the omega, is this not what they teach in church? Is this not what it's in the Bible? But you're saying because Moorish American citizens and sovereign citizens are stating this in their documents, it should not be recognized by a public official, a notary of the state? Is that what the legislation is stating here? Because I take offense to that. And attorneys have reviewed this, and attorneys have basically written this. Now, it says the right to refuse service. So if you want to refuse service, it says notaries are appointed to serve the public and should honor all lawful and reasonable requests for notarial services. All lawful and reasonable. But you're saying these things that was just referenced here in this book, those are not lawful and those are not reasonable, because I find it very reasonable, and I find this book in that particular section to be extremely unreasonable. Now let's continue on. However, the law prohibits a notary from completing a notarial certificate if he or she believes it contains false information. They are so full of themselves, you all, because everything we sign is based on a lie and an illusion. Almost everything we sign, I must say that, okay? Dealing with a bank, deal with so much stuff that you go through signing in this world, and see what it's based upon. It is also unlawful for a notary to notarize a document knowing that it contains false, dishonest, or fraudulent information. I think that's very clear and to the point. Examples of such dishonest acts include notarizing a blank DMV vehicle title document, okay? Embezzlement, forgery, fraud, identity theft, impersonation of a law enforcement officer, receiving stolen goods or property, and theft, okay? Therefore, notaries have a legal obligation to refuse to notarize if they have reason to believe that the document is false, fraudulent, or will be used for dishonest intent. Therefore, we can refuse the right to notarize for any individual. It doesn't matter who it is. But I'm going to tell y'all, when you're dealing with the government, with these statutes in these states, and they want to make up their own rules and laws, and basically they are, you know, clearly addressing sovereign citizens, clearly addressing Moorish American indigenous people. How do you think I am supposed to take that when I read it? Am I not being talked about in this book? So I just wanted to address you all with this information because I find it very offensive. I find it very dishonorable, and I think that we do deserve to be recognized here, because no other country, no other citizen has been taken over out of their own territory, their own land, stripped of their own resources, and basically had their everything stripped away from them, and then basically sold back to them at a larger, higher amount than what it should be sold to them for. Like, you stole our land, y'all came over here, okay, you killed us off, you put a lot of our indigenous people into what we call tribal, you put them on the Indians on reservations, okay, you killed a lot of them off with your nasty diseases. So let's not even go there. You don't want to talk about what really happened and how most melanated people end up in the situation they're in right now because y'all orchestrated and created it. So y'all, this has been an episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has brought you some insight and clarity about how these rules and regulations are written into state legislation. This is actually a book that is referenced by the Secretary of State, you all. And the Secretary of State is not indigenous, it's not melanated, it's not one of us, okay? So how in the world do we allow this to happen, you all? People need to pay attention to what's really important, what's really going on out here. That's all I gotta say. All these rappers, all these entertainers, everything that y'all see, they are all basically acquiescing to an illusion too. So stop following behind and idol worship and stuff that has no credence. What really matters is the assets that you can leave for your future generation and that you can acquire for your life while you're here. So that is all I wanted to talk about. I will be addressing you all later. I hope you have enjoyed this video, okay? And shout out to Brown Girls Are Beautiful all day, every day. Yes, it is your melanated queen, okay? And you all continue to walk in your divinity. Until next time, you all stay beautiful and stay blessed.